Hi, guys. So here we are. I promised you I was going to record the Love My Guts talk that I wasn't able to do two Saturdays ago, and I don't want to owe you anything. So here we are, right? So today, I'm going to give you so much information, and I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. I don't want you to feel like overloaded with a lot of things that you might be familiar with it. Other might be new. Okay, so write everything down, everything that's new to you, everything that it seems important to you that you think that you need to work on and change. But at the end of the presentation, what I want you to do is just circle one or two things that you say, okay, this is what I'm going to start working on, this is what I need to change first. And this is very important because if you are overwhelmed and you got too many action steps to do, the probability is that you won't do much, right? Nothing is going to happen. And I don't want that for you. Okay. So make sure that you circle one or two things at the end and take action with it, because information without action is actually nothing. It means nothing. Okay. So let's start with this, right? And first of all, let me change here so you can see the presentation better. Here we go. So we need to understand where we are today and why this is so important to understand and learn. How can we improve our health in general, and what the role is the gut play on all of this, right? So today, one study found that 74% of people in America are living with gastrointestinal issues, including bloating, abdominal pain, and diarrhea. Over 600,000 people die of heart disease each year in the United States. Cancer today is responsible for 1 in 6 deaths. 1 in 10 Americans have diabetes. Depression, anxiety are very prevalent. And, talk about suicides, it's all in an all-time high. So, we cannot keep this destructive path. We need to change. We're doing things in the wrong way, and we need to figure it out. Okay, so let's start with it. When we talk about the gut, some people just think about bloating, constipation, diarrhea, but there's so much more that the gut has been linked to. Like, for example, autoimmune diseases, brain disorders, and cognitive conditions like Alzheimer's, dementia. How about cancer, fatigue and joint pain, mood disorders, learning disabilities, infertility and pregnant complications, allergies, asthma, sensitivities to food and other things, the inability to lose weight. So you can see that almost everything is kind of like linked back to the gut. So I'm going to show you how all of this are linked to the gut. And there is a misconception that if you live naturally, that you're not following the science. You will find that that's not true. That actually the natural science is what we always fall back into. Okay, so everything that we're going to be talking today, it's going to be a study, and you can check it out if you want to on your own time. But I'm going to go over it real quickly so you can understand where everything is coming from. Okay, so this is what we do all the time, and you can always continue to upgrade your thinking and your habits. If so yeah, let's continue to do that. All right, so the idea that the digestive system is just one big tube, okay, it is completely incorrect, right? We know more than that. The human digestive system is composed of a series of organs that break down food that you eat to absorb the vital nutrients, right? What are these organs? Well, it starts in your mouth, then goes down to your esophagus, to your stomach, to your small intestine, to your large intestine, to your anus. It includes your gallbladder, it includes your pancreas. So every signal that goes into your gut, like one signal that goes into your gut and to your digestive system, 9 different signals go out from your gut to connect to the whole body. All right. And the digestive system actually operates on its own, and it can communicate directly to your brain. It does this by the vagus nerve and through chemicals like the hormones and neurotransmitters. Now, every cell is dependent on the absorption of nutrients by your gut. It is super, super important to be able to absorb the good stuff, right? So that our cells are actually made of that good stuff. So digestion is critical to the overall function because your body needs these nutrients in order to function properly and to maintain our overall health. So carbohydrates, right? Phone is ringing, sorry. Fats and proteins are the macronutrients we receive from the food. And then we have the vitamins and the minerals that are the micronutrients. Okay. So your digestive system breaks down these nutrients so they can be absorbed and then used as energy. So proteins, they are broken down into amino acids. Fats are broken down into fatty acids and glycerol, and carbohydrates are broken down into simple sugars. Now, this is what makes every cell in your body, right? All these nutrients, like your cells from your eyes, your cells from your bones, the muscle cells, every organ cell. But for this to happen, the nutrients have to be transferred to the right place, not just also be able to be absorbed, right? So let's say that it has to be not just any nutrient. They have to be high quality nutrients so that your body is made up of high quality cells. So it is very important that if you're taking any supplements, to make sure that they're high quality supplements and stop going after the good deal. We tend to do that, like, oh, this is cheaper, so let me let me grab that, right? But the thing is that if you give your body cheap material, your cells are going to be made of cheap materials. So that good deal eventually will turn into what? Into a bad deal, right? This is, why, man, I'm so proud of being able to say that I'm part of Max Living. Another reason why we got such great supplements. Max Living has a team of doctors, right, that actually went to visit the area, the location where our supplements are made of, and they made a study. Everything, has to be high quality. So yes, they tend to be a little bit high priced, but because of all the process that it goes through to make sure that you get what you need, to make sure that there's bioavailability so that your body can actually absorb those nutrients that you are taking and not just eliminate them, so eventually you will lose money, right? So this is not the only supplements that are awesome. I think these are on the top, right? But if you're not sure where to get them, just let me know. And I can give you a lot of information about each of them so that you can see and learn more about them. Okay. But you here have great resource for that. Okay. So let's keep talking about the digestion, right? So this all comes down to the microbiome or the biome. So your GI tract is the key attribute to the digestive system. It contains trillions of bacteria, viruses, and fungi, which are collectively called the microbiome. So did you know that we're made of more bacteria and viruses than human cells? We have more bacteria and viruses that compose our bodies than we have human cells. Just a little bit of information so we can think about that and what it really means. Okay, so these bacteria are the ones that are mostly studied more than the fungi or the viruses. Okay, and they are mainly found in our intestines. Typically, the thought of a bacteria usually is associated with something negative, with a harmful disease. And here starts one of our big problems. What have you learned to take when there is a bacteria imbalance? Antibiotics. You know the meaning of antibiotics? It's actually anti-life. These antibiotics, they kill all bacteria, the good and the bad. And not just that, but how many times throughout your life have you been prescribed antibiotics? Let's say, since you were a kid. Many, many times. I did too. But the thing is that the majority of the people never go back to replenish their gut with the good bacteria that was killed by that antibiotic, which will eventually create a host of other issues in the future. And that's what we're seeing right now, right? So, however, your gut contains both good bacteria and harmful bacteria. So, the good bacteria in your gut assist with digestion, with your immune health, with your heart, and a lot more. Okay, so this good bacteria can be consumed through supplements or even foods, right? And they're called probiotics. However, when there is an imbalance in the gut microbiota, it's called a dysbiosis. Okay, a dysbiosis. So, in order for the GI tract to perform effectively, it is very important to have as much good bacteria and as little harmful bacteria as possible. Okay, so over time, creating this dysbiosis in your gut, right? It creates a whole host of issues in the future. So, how can you replenish the right balance, right? Well, we want to nourish your gut with the good bacteria, which eventually will quiet down that bad bacteria. So, what determines if someone's microbiome is in good shape or not? Well, it comes down to the balance of the bad bacteria versus the good bacteria. So, by nourishing your gut with bacteria, with good bacteria, will eventually quiet down, right? Like I said, and then quiet down and decrease those bad bacteria. I don't know if you ever heard of regenerative farming practices. This is something that we are seeing more and more in farming, right? And what is very interesting with them is that they actually don't use chemicals to kill the bugs, because what they say is that they want to attract the good healthy bugs into their ecosystem, because when the good healthy bugs are in their ecosystem, the bad bugs, they can't survive. So, and look at this, how interesting it is that nature actually goes in parallels with our bodies, how our bodies naturally function and naturally keep balance. So we need more good bacteria in our guts, which will eventually decrease the effect and even the amount of the bad bacteria that are in there. Okay. Let's continue here. All right, so let's talk about this gut brain connection. The gut brain axis is the communication between your central nervous system and your gut. Okay, so the gut and the brain are connected physically and biochemically in many, many ways. So, for example, your brain contains about 100 billion neurons, that's with a B, right, which communicate with the body on its behavior and function. But not just that, your gut also contains about 500 million neurons, right? So, which are connected directly to your brain, directly to your nervous system. Okay. Not only that, but the gut and the brain are connected by neurotransmitters. So, these neurotransmitters are produced in the brain and they control emotions and feelings. But your gut also produces neurotransmitters like GABA, which is a neurotransmitter, right? That controls feelings of fear. Okay, so if you ever felt, your butterflies in your stomach when you're kind of like a little bit anxious or nervous, or even feel nauseous right before you're going to do something big or come up in front of people, well, now you know why this is happening. Now you know why you got that feeling in your stomach, and it's all directed, because of these neurotransmitters that affect your emotions and your feelings that are created in your gut. Okay, so there's so much more in your gut than just, right, like digestion. Okay, so this is this biosis, right? It is the imbalance of the good bacteria and the bad bacteria. Okay, and most people have this because of the way we live. We do things every day that promote this imbalance. So we are killing the good bacteria and feeding the bad bacteria. So that's one big thing that we need to start to change. Okay, so let me show you this, right? This is an unhealthy colon and a healthy colon, right? So I always show you when we talk about how a healthy spine looks like, and then how an unhealthy spine looks like. So I want to talk to you how a healthy colon and an unhealthy colon looks like, right? So the one to your, I want to say to your left, right, with the black and gray color, the black areas, those are feces that are stuck in there. So you need to understand and know that your body really has no place inside, that it is designed to keep waste for any length of time. So we're not supposed to keep that feces in our intestines. So the correct way should be one meal in and then one meal out. Every time you eat a meal, it has to come out. Every waste that your body is not using, it has to come out. And some people, they only go to the bathroom, they only defecate, maybe in 3 days or 4 days. There's some people that I know that are, they don't go in weeks. How toxic is this, right? So we need to clean our bodies every time we go into the bathroom. Now, another reason your gut is so important, it is because it is related to your immune system. So 70% of your immune response is initiated in your gut. 70% of your immune response starts in your gut. And this is very interesting to me how, right now with all of this, like none of the experts, none, not one, have ever mentioned how we can strengthen our natural immunity through, throughout all this, 14, 15 months of fighting a virus. And yet, everything that we are doing is actually disrupting our gut even more, weakening our immune system even more. Sorry about that. How about, for example, the hand sanitizers, which are very, very toxic to our gut, and all the therapies that are actually creating more dysbiosis in our gut, setting the perfect environment for issues like cancer, specifically colon cancer. Okay, so if you really want to protect yourself, your health from this virus, right? One thing that you can start doing is improving the bacterial balance, the probiotic balance in your body. Because depending on how healthy your intestines are, that's how healthy your immune response is going to be and how well it's going to protect you, right? Don't forget that we all have what we need. We all have the tools. That's how we were created to actually be healthy, to actually survive, right? So dysbiosis, or the imbalance of the gut in terms of the bacteria, definitely causes disruption in the gut. So the thing is that if we see this, like what's happening in the big picture, right? What we're doing, like, are we robbing Peter to pay Paul, right? Are we robbing Peter to be able to pay Paul? Are you doing something that seemingly is healthy to maybe prevent a virus that has a survival rate of 99.7%, but unknowingly increasing your risk of the number 2 cause of death in the United States for the past 20 years, which is colon cancer? Just think about it, right? And we can't keep doing this. We've been doing this forever, for so many years, creating even different causes and even like bad or worse effects in our health. Okay, so what we're doing, as you think about it, is creating this collateral damage to our health, and we are forgetting heart disease is actually the leading cause of death in this country. And when we cause damage to our gut, a cascade of events starts to happen that will increase inflammation, that will affect your heart. So, what do you feel when you're developing heart disease and cancer? Right? We've talked about this before. Absolutely nothing, right? But in its majority, these conditions that are the first two causes of death are not being looked at from its root causes. They've been neglected, okay, for over 20 years. And for a virus with a survival rate of 99.7%, everything stopped, right? The world stopped. So it really doesn't make any sense. We guys, we need to go to making sure that the tools that we have are working effectively, are doing their job. And how we do that is beginning to change a lot of the habits that we're doing. I'm not gonna get into that just quite. Okay, let's keep moving here. So when we talk about dysbiosis, this is what we're really talking about. These are all the diseases that are tied to the imbalance in the bacteria in our gut. Okay, so you see obesity, diabetes, allergies, atherosclerosis, early aging, Alzheimer's, multiple sclerosis. I can't see with this. Hypertension, metabolic syndrome, liver disease, cancer, which we mentioned, and then autoimmune diseases, right? And what is happening, we're focusing on treating that symptom or treating that disease, but not really going to the root cause. Again, let's go to the root cause, which one big cause is this imbalance in our gut. And so easy to replenish, and so easy to get it back to where it is. And then the hard part is to maintain it, right? But we can do that too. So here, let's talk about this a little bit more. The term, allopathic, it refers to the traditional modern medicine. Typically, when harmful organisms are detected in our bodies or in our gut, in this case, the allopathic approach is removing them, is to bomb the city, right? And prescribe antibiotics, which destroys everything that we mentioned. All the good things, yeah, it will kill the bad things, but it will kill also the good things, right? So it's somewhat effective, okay? But the thing is that eventually they will lead to more and more difficulties. So when we bombed the city, instead of the one building that has the real damage, it creates other collateral damage. So this study is an example of how these types of medications can be destroying our gut. So when we kill everything, there is repercussions that are sometimes worse than the first reason why we threw the bomb, right? So there's other ways that we can do that are very, very effective and create a homeostasis in the body, creates balance. So inflammation, right? We've talked about how inflammation is the root cause of all diseases, of all pain. Inflammation in the gut can be responsible for health conditions such as IBS, right? Irritable bowel syndrome. And this can lead to many unwanted health problems and symptoms in the future. So I'm going to show you this. This is like a slide of your small intestine with the villi, right? The villi are like the finger-like looking things on the top. And, this is where your nutrients actually get absorbed. But notice the image on your right, okay? There is a thick green mucus, I can't say that, film, right? And this film is actually created by your body to protect you, is to either try to decrease that inflammation that is happening in the walls of your intestines, or to help move toxicity, to get it out of your intestine walls, to kind of like help it right flow because it's stuck in there. Okay. But the one thing that the mucus film doesn't allow is for the walls to absorb the nutrients. So it really doesn't matter how high quality your food is or how high quality your supplementation is when your gut cannot absorb it. So if you have chronic inflammation that you might not even feel, right? This mucus film is created and avoids that. Okay, so what do we need to do also? Decrease the inflammation. We need to quiet down. We need to extinguish the fire. Okay, because eventually what happens here is that the wall will start to perforate, creating what we know as leaky gut. Okay, so what is this? What is leaky gut? So inside our gut, we have an intestinal lining that covers around 4,000 square feet of surface area. So, the office, right? It is around 1,500 square feet. So imagine 4,000 square feet of this lining in your gut, right? In your intestines. So humongous. So when it works properly, it acts as a barrier that controls what is actually absorbed into your bloodstream. But when the unhealthy gut lining may have increased intestinal permeability, right? That is why it's called leaky gut, meaning that there's holes and there's cracks that allow harmful bacteria and toxins to enter your bloodstream. So leaky gut happens when there is chronic inflammation, right? Chronic inflammation meaning inflammation that has been there for years. Like I said, this is not necessarily you may feel, okay? And what causes this? Sugar, bad fats, toxicity, alcohol, right? Which eventually, if you do develop a leaky gut, it will lead to autoimmune diseases and cancer. So, and it's just like a big, one thing after the other, right? Those are the effects. So we need to not just start at the end of that line, but actually in the beginning of it. Okay. All right. So poor gut health can cause many, many unwanted and unpleasant symptoms like upset stomach, unintentional weight changes, sleeping problems, fatigue, food sensitivities, bloating, skin problems, and of course, a lot of digestive issues, right? And when do we want to catch it? When do we want to, do something because we want to avoid all of this? It's now, right? We wanted to do something when it's dysfunctional and not when it's a full-blown disease, right? Because it is always easier to attack. It is always easier to reverse. And if it takes less time, okay? So other causes of dysbiosis, what actually creates this imbalance in our body, other than what we talk about, like food and alcohol and toxicity. How about antacids? How about NSAIDs and infected foods, right? So, there's so many things that happen. This also over time creates what we know about as SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. And it's the bad bacteria, okay? So how does this happen? When we start to ignore what we need to know, what we need to do, and what we need to change. When we start to ignore what our bodies are telling us, when we say, oh, this is nothing, it came and went, and we don't do something about it, and when we're telling you, okay, so you need to do these changes, you need to take care of this, you need to eat better, you need to take better supplementations, you need to decrease your stress. We need to do all that, not just because, oh, that's our 5 essentials, right? But because it actually helps heal your body. It actually helps create this balance of the good bacteria and the bad bacteria in your body, which allows you to heal and to express health. Okay, so is it possible to heal? Is it? Well, we need to go back to and ask the right questions. What does it mean to heal? Right? Not if we can. The thing is that a lot of people think it's getting healthy, that getting healthy means getting back between the within the normal ranges, right? So when we take a blood test, all the numbers are where it's supposed to be. When we measure our pressure, blood pressure, it's normal, and we think, okay, so that's good, we are perfect, right? But how many of you know that you can feel good, you can have perfect numbers in your blood work and still die of a heart attack tomorrow? It happens so frequently, right? And this is because we judge our health entirely based on how we look and how we feel. Or if we just, well, if we like, oh, we're good and we exercise, we're good. So what does it really mean to be healthy and be able to heal? So when you judge your health by how you feel, and you're forgetting that you don't always feel the symptoms. Your body, and listen to this, your body is designed to function at 100%. Your body is designed to be at 100% vitality. It is designed so you can express full life, right? Never forget that. Don't think like, oh, it's so hard to achieve, or oh, that's something that we'll never achieve. No, your body is always healing. Your body is in a state of healing every time, like every day, constantly. That's what it's doing. Okay, so you see here in this function life or vitality continuum that 100% vitality is 100% health. Everything is happening well in your body like it's supposed to. Your function is 100%. The other side is 0% vitality. It means that there's nothing actually happening in your body, right? So you're actually dead. There's no life within your body. Okay, but most people don't consider their health until what? Until they get a symptom. But that symptom doesn't happen right away. You lose function over time and before you get a symptom. So you go from 100 to 90 to 80 to 70 and get all the way down to 60% of that vitality and function. And now is when you start to get those symptoms. And let's say it's a headache. What are we taught to take for a headache, right? Just some medications, okay? Did that cover up the symptoms? Yeah, maybe, right? Did that move you towards getting curious about identifying the cause, address the interference, and restore your vitality within the body? Absolutely not, right? You feel better. It means that I'm better. It means that I'm good, okay, but not. The real definition of health has nothing to do with masking your symptoms. But it has everything to do with your body functioning and healing at 100%. Don't ever forget that, right? So after seeing thousands of patients over the years and seeing who gets well, who transforms their life, who reverses their problems, I can say there are clear attributes of someone who is living at 100% vitality. Is someone who has great health habits, who takes full responsibility for their health outcomes, and it's a person who has a strong health philosophy. And why a good, strong philosophy of health matters? Well, because your health philosophy will dictate what you do. What are your actions, right? So this person realizes that no one else is responsible for their health. No doctor, no insurance company, no government agency will ever take care or be more aware of your health than you do. So this person has a strong philosophy of how they handle their health and healthcare. So let's say you have the in your car, you got your check light that comes up. So what are you going to do? Do you put like a duct tape on that light to cover it? So it's like, oh, I don't have time for this now, and it's bothering me. So let me cover it with this duct tape. You don't do that ever, right? Because you know what's going to happen. Your car is going to die on you, and then it affects your whole life or your situation, right? But we do that with our health. We do that with how we feel. We cover up our symptoms that are flashing lights that are telling us that there's something that's not right, that we need to take care of, that is creating that symptom. Okay? So let's go back to do that, not to do it with pills and ointments and patches. And how do we do that? This is with the 5 essentials. This is why actually we teach that. This is why Max Living created the 5 essentials, because it can transform your life if you keep learning and you keep applying them, right? This is a process. It does not happen overnight. It does not happen after this talk. It does not, okay? But little by little, you can do this. So, because when you own your health, you own your life. Take responsibility for your thoughts. When you choose to eat foods that are life-giving, that add to your body and not interfere. When you focus on fitness and moving your body, when you are oxygenating your tissues and your cells, when you're building lean muscle, when you're sweating and breathing hard on a regular basis, right? When you minimize man-made dangerous toxicants that you're exposed to on a regular basis. And you combine all of this with a strong growth mindset and a healing mindset, man, you choose to value the one system that controls all healing in your body, which is your nervous system, with a neurological-based chiropractic care. These are the 5 essential life. And these essentials aren't just good ideas. They are essentials because even missing or neglecting one of these areas, your health just decreases. You have goals to build wealth, you work hard, you practice your craft, you move up in your industry, you make money, you invest your money, you check on it, you're watching it grow, but the whole time you spend more, but then but at the same time, you're spending more than you make. You put it all on a credit card, and you also neglect to pay that credit card bill. What happens in this scenario? Bankruptcy, right? So, and what happens when you neglect even one essentials of these 5 essentials? Health bankruptcy. And there's a lot of people, probably, I know none of you, right? None of you are there. But there's a lot of people out there who are putting their health and their health care on credit. And eventually they're going to have to pay the bill. All right. But if you work on these essentials, which are the tools and the resources that your body needs to develop health, oh man, you got it. You got it. You got your health back. Now, think in terms of this nation, right? And if this was our healthcare, and when you go to get your annual checkup, they would go over how are you doing on implementing these 5 essentials? How are you doing with your supplementations? How are you doing on your strategy to live the 5 essentials? Our healthcare system would look completely different if we would have this 5 essentials delivery system, right? Well, we would have more sickness or less, more cancer or less cancer, more heart disease or less heart disease, right? So why is this not the standard? I don't know. It's just too good, maybe. But you know what? Let's focus on ourselves. Focus on you, what you're doing and what you're accomplishing, and how you are taking responsibility for your health and for your future. Okay? You're doing this, listening to this, listening to me speak and give you some information, and then taking action on it. That's what you need to do. And that's what you're doing to create that health for you and to take that responsibility. So Life risk questionnaire. I am super, super excited about this. This is something that Max Living has been working on for a while. And this helps um, every one of us or everybody to know where the blind spots are, right? So we have this 5 essentials lifestyle risk questionnaire that you can assess yourself, that will let you know your risk and show you in what area you've got some problems. See where you might be intentionally or unintentionally neglecting one of your essentials, so that you can focus on that one and make sure you bring it up to par, that you're doing what you need to do to for your body, to support your body to create health for you, right? So let me go over it with you. And this is super good. So after completing that questionnaire, you will get a pop-up, right? With the risk level. It could say critical, it could say high risk, it could say vulnerable, living well, or or max living, right? You're living at your max. The goal is that when you take it, no matter where you are, right? You move closer and closer to living the max living, to be able to improve your habits on those 5 essentials, right? So now this is possible. It's not about being perfect. No, it's not totally not about that. It's about acquiring a life of freedom, because when you have your health, it gives you the freedom to do what you want to do, to be who you are. All right, so let me show you an example of how, after taking the doing the questionnaire, this is what's going to come up, right? So these are based on the results of your answers, right? What are the essentials that this person really needs to focus on and make some changes? So when you see this, the longer one, so you see on the side, it goes up and down, says core chiropractic, nutrition, mindset, oxygen, and exercise, and then minimizing toxicity, right? Those are the 5 essentials. And on the bottom, there's a colored line. It goes from green to red, and the bottom says max living well, vulnerable, high risk, and critical. So you see how far along the results are on each of these 5 essentials. So for this person, what are the 2 things that they need to take care of and focus on? Well, nutrition, because it's in the high risk level, and oxygen and exercise, which is in the critical level, right? So this is their 911, right? Taking all the essentials, and then taking all the essentials into consideration, like an overall and average, this person ranked in vulnerable, right? So it also will give you, so let's say nutrition, at the end it will also give us, you and me, okay, so I need to focus on nutrition. What are the things that I need to do, right? So it gives us a better guide for us on how to help you make better changes and choices, right? I think it's pretty amazing. Now look at this example. This is as you can see, it's not healthy person. So this person is a younger person that eats well and exercises, and these are his words, right? I eat well and I exercise. But what does well mean, right? It is not enough to create health. For him, it's definitely not. You can see 4 out of 5 of those essentials, it's in critical. But he thinks he's doing pretty well at what he's doing. But well is so subjective. I hear a lot, oh, I eat pretty good, right? We say that. I hear it all the time. What does that mean? So this questionnaire is makes ask you more specific questions, so that you know exactly where you're not doing okay or you're not doing well so that you can change that. Okay? All right, let's move on. All right, so 3-step process to heal and recover. This is the true for any condition, not just for gut health. So the first step is to identify the cause. What's causing my problem? Why am I having one bowel movement every 3 days? Why am I constantly tired or fatigued? Why am I icky all over my body? You might need help finding the cause, and that's why we're here, right? That's why I'm here. That's why Max Living is here, right? The other thing is the next step, sorry, would be to actually do something about it, right? Address what is interfering with your body's natural potential to heal and be healthy. And the third one is we need to give our body the right environment to heal, to recover, and to function at its 100% best. Okay, so let's start there. Causes of poor gut health. How about poor nutrition, right? We want to eat the food that is made by God and not the food that is made by man. So let's say I cut an apple. How long will it take to start getting brown? It just takes minutes, right? These are the enzymes that are dying. And this is what is supposed to happen. Let's say I cut a Twinkie. How long will it take for it to rot? The actual time is 121 years. That is its shelf life. It, we can say, never rots, right? So listen to this. So if you eat food that do not rot, you rot. So if you eat food that do rot, then you live. All right? I like that when I heard it. I'm like, oh, I'm going to use that one. Okay, so let's look at the top 5 foods to avoid for our optimal gut health. And we need to start with sugar. The number one toxicity, our number one cause of the chronic inflammation, which causes every possible chronic inflammation or, chronic disease there is. And we consume on average 150 pounds of sugar each year. This is each person. And the thing is that the sugar industry makes over $100 billion in revenue each year. Yeah, so I mean, they don't want to stop that, right? They're doing pretty well. So why we are so into sugar? Well, it is very, very addictive, more so than cocaine. And this is because our brains have 3 neurotransmitters that get affected by sugar, and cocaine only has 2. Not just that, but it cancels out important nutrients like vitamin C, vitamin D, chromium, calcium. So you might be taking your supplements, but when you take sugar as well, you are canceling the effects of those. So another way you're throwing away your money, throwing away your health. And sugar not just comes in from of candy, right? We say, oh, I don't eat sweets, right? I only add a little bit of sugar in my coffee in the morning. But sugar today, it's in everything: breads, pasta, grains, everything that is processed, everything that you find that is already made, there's some type of sugar in there. How about artificial sweeteners? Artificial sweeteners like sucralose, aspartame, saccharin can change your gut bacteria balance and deplete the good bacteria and favor the harmful bacteria. Okay. What are processed and high sugar foods? Well, this includes the frozen dinners, granola bars, cereals, hot dogs, desserts. So we need to avoid all of those. We need to first check the ingredients. What are the ingredients that we are looking for that we need to not consume? High fructose corn syrup, dextrose, maltose, all the trans fats, hydrogenated oil, right? All of those things we need to avoid. We need to keep it, don't take it out from the store, okay? How about gluten? Gluten is a combination of proteins that are found in many grains, uh, and could be, a factor for gut issues. Gluten is like a binding agent. It's a glue that your body does not, sorry, it doesn't recognize as a nutrient. But your body's so amazing, right? That it has enzymes that actually break gluten down. But if there is an overload of gluten in your body, it just cannot handle it, right? And that's when we become sensitive to it. Now, it's not just the gluten, but also the Roundup and the other chemicals added to the grains specifically that create this dysbiosis in our guts. So when someone says something says gluten free, it is not necessarily healthy. We need to look at the ingredients. What is it made of? So where we find gluten, right? So in grains like wheat, rye, barley, which we eat almost every day. Okay, let me see here. Conventional meats, right? Conventional meat, non-organic, grain-fed meats uh, that are fed with antibiotics and GMO foods, which can be very damaging to our gut bacteria. There's also the nitrates, right? The nitrates is what gives the red color of the meat, right? We don't like gray meat. It looks like it's getting rotten, right? So they add this chemical so that it stays red and it looks fresh. But this is directly linked to the cancer in your pancreas. And let me tell you, right, something very interesting is that after the age of 3, we no longer have enzymes that digest dairy. Just like a little pin here, so for you to think of. How about damaged fats or processed fats, right? This include all the refined oils, processed foods, margarine. There's so many things. These fats are extremely damaging to our overall health, specifically to our gut health. And there's studies that have been linked to increasing the risk of leaky gut or intestinal hypermeability, right? Which caused by this damaged or altered fats. What are good fats? Where we find good fats? Well, in nuts, in seeds, in meat, in butter, in fatty fish. There's so many places that we can find it so that we can consume it. How about alcohol? Alcohol is toxic. It turns into sugar, especially high carb, high sugar drinks and strong liquors. Studies actually have linked alcohol consumption to the gut health issues and dysbiosis. And the most harmful drug is actually alcohol. It's bad for your brain, for your heart, for your liver, for your pancreas, causing an acidic environment in your body, which is the perfect environment for cancer cells. So yeah, I know alcohol. Let's keep moving forward. All right. So some of us, we just need to do a fast from all of this that we know that hurts us. There's a woman that has been smoking for years. She's tried to stop a few times. She wasn't successful. She wasn't able to do that. But what happens when she gets pregnant? She completely stopped because her reason became bigger than her. Right now, it was all about the baby. So you know that an apple is better than a donut. So it's not what you know, it's about what you do. And sometimes there has to be this compelling reason why you do it. So if you're struggling with any of this, ask yourself, why would I need to fast and stop consuming dead things, right? Why do I need to do this for a period of time? And when you find out why, you will find a how. So our nutrition plans are based on food by God. Okay. So again, what does food by God mean? Is food that is grown in our earth, that it's natural, that was given to us, right? Not got by man. You can call it whatever you want. It's what it is, right? So 3 principles of Max Living Nutritional Plan. We eat food by God and we avoid food by science, food that is made by man, that is made on a lab. We skip the sugars and its alternatives. We don't count calories, but we count the toxicants that can be found in all of this. So we follow the foundation of eating food by God, right? Everything that's found on the ground that is natural to us. So when you grab something from the grocery store and you go over the ingredients list and see all these chemicals, ask yourself, is my body created to handle this? Does my body have the tools to digest this that is not natural to the earth? Just in case you're not sure about the answer, I mean, it's no, right? Our bodies our bodies are created with the capacity and the tools to digest what is given through the earth and what is found naturally. Okay. So there are two plans. We have two nutritional plans that are designed to meet unique nutritional needs and optimize our health. So the Max Living Core Plan, it focuses on reacquainting yourself with understanding what your body needs. It doesn't count calories or has rigid diet guidelines. It is designed to become a lifestyle of wellness and building a better relationship with food, right? So this core plan is focused on helping you rethink your diet and understanding how it impacts your health. So it incorporates a variety of vegetables and many low sugar fruits, legumes, ancient and whole grains, and healthy fats and proteins, right? So it involves in choosing organic whenever it's possible, consuming higher sugar plant-based foods earlier in the day, eating more healthy fats while eliminating the damaged fats, choosing natural raised animal proteins, and selecting whole over refined carbohydrates, right? So we want to emphasize on ancient grains, pseudo grains, our non-gluten grains, always looking for the sprouted and the whole and the stone ground versions of those grains. Okay. The other plan is what we call the advanced plan, which is a healing plan, right? It's very similar to the core plan, but then it includes eating more healthy fats while eliminating the damaged fats, choosing naturally raised animal proteins. But the main difference is that in the advanced plan, because you want to heal, right? You want to eliminate the inflammation, decrease the inflammation, we need to eliminate all grains, right? All grains. Eliminate all sugar, including the fruits, most of the fruits, especially tropical fruits. You can eat low sugar fruits like berries and grapefruits and Granny Smith apples, right? That are very, very low on sugar and don't create a spike in the blood sugar, creating inflammation. Okay. So, right, the idea is to reduce that inflammation in our foods and increase the good fats so that your body fuels of that good fat instead of the sugar. So the advanced plan expands on the core plan to help address a wide range of health and metabolic challenges that may be, that may affect your ability to absorb and even metabolize nutrients that you eat, right? So how do you know? What are those indications that tell you that you need to do the advanced plans? Well, how about cognitive dysfunctions like ADD, ADHD, autism spectrum disorders? Metabolic syndromes like obesity, high cholesterol, high triglycerides, high or low blood sugar, high insulin, high blood pressure, heart disease, high leptin. Modern day illnesses like chronic fatigue syndrome, toxicity, fibromyalgia, immune system and inflammatory diseases like cancer, autoimmune diseases, digestive dysfunctions, uh, gluten intolerant, asthma, arthritis. And then a lot of people ask, for how long do I do the advanced plan? You do it until you reach your goal. What is it that you want for your outcome? When you reach that, then you move down to the core plan, right? And that's going to be your lifestyle. And I can say there's a lot of people that start the advanced plan, they love how they feel, they are enjoying the foods, and they choose to say that. And you can do that too, right? But you don't have to. You can move to the core plan. All right, so let's look at the 3 R's of healing the gut: remove, repair, and repopulate. Let's talk about remove. So we want to remove all those bad bacteria that have taken over, like candida, overgrowth, like SIBO, right? During this remove portion of our gut health, this is referring to those bad bacteria, yeast and parasites. An individual may have signs of this, right? Or it could be discovered in a GI effects test. What else? Let's keep moving. Repairing, all right? So repairing refers to repairing and healing the gut walls, closing those gaps, and decreasing the mucus from the lining of your gut, right? So this is very critical for ensuring a healthy balance of good bacteria and bad bacteria by protecting your gut from these harmful invaders, all right? So repairing the gut means that you use like digestive enzymes, you improve what you're eating, you use bile salts and other things like this, right? So these nutrients are crucial for proper repairing of the gut and can be found in our gut renew supplement. Licorice, slippery elm, and other nutrients. These are all natural things that we find in earth, and right, that will actually help us renew and repair our gut. Digestive enzymes. They're critical for replacing the gut. Enzymes are life, right? And we get them through raw foods, and our bodies also create them, but we need them to digest the proteins, the carbohydrates, and even the fats that we consume. And if we don't consume enough enzymes, it will cause osteoporosis, it can cause joint pain, it can cause edema. And production of enzymes on our bodies start to decline after the age of 30. I know. So we do need, right, to supplement with it or eat better foods that actually have those enzymes, digestive enzymes. So now if you have a sluggish gallbladder or a toxic pancreas, then you will have a more rapid decrease in this digestive enzyme. Some symptoms can be that you get bloated after a meal, you have upset stomach, runny and sticky stool, meaning that your body is really not breaking down the fats how it should. Things that you want to look for in an enzyme. So you want to make sure that it has butane HCl, it has ox bile that breaks down the fat, it has glucoamylase, which breaks down the gluten, and lactase, which breaks down the dairy, right? And all of this can be found in our, max living digestive enzyme. You got the fiber. Fiber is essential for helping the waste move appropriately through the gut. So getting the right type of fiber is key. So you want fibers from fruit and vegetables is the best way to ensure that you are receiving that quality source of fiber. The lack of fiber can actually cause colon cancer, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, obesity, right? So it's not just not being able to go to the bathroom, it actually creates disease in your body. And the thing is that we need a minimum of 30 grams per day of fiber, which we can get, listen to these, let's say 5 servings of spinach, 5 servings of berries, and on top of that, you add nuts like almonds and flax seeds. And that's very difficult. Who eats 5 servings of spinach in a day? It is very, very difficult, right? So you have to make sure that you supplement with good fiber so that your body can actually do the thing that it needs to, right? Not only that, but fiber also needs to be soluble and insoluble. So you have to have both mixed in there. And the max living fiber comes from fruits and vegetables. And it also has acacia gum that helps to deposit the probiotics back into the digestive lining. Omega-3, right? The omega-3 fatty acids are essential. It helps increase the composition and diversity of the health gut bacteria. You want to make sure that you can absorb what you're taking, and the cleaner and less processed the supplements are, the more quality product your gut can absorb. This is why our supplements are in the top of the list, right? It's hard to find some other supplements that you can trust. And now that you know what you're investing is actually creating health to change your body. Okay, this is very, very important. Look at this. It says that an imbalance of omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids, which because of the diet that we have way more omega-6 than omega-3s, and it turns on your inflammatory genes. So if we're not consuming the right healthy amount of omega-3 fatty acids, inflammation is going to happen. So omega, as well as curcumin, actually turns this inflammatory gene off. Okay, that's why it's so good and so easy to help you, just fix the gut lining. The third step is re-inoculate, right? In this re-inoculation phase, it is important to replace the good bacteria in the gut with healthy bacteria like probiotics. So most people are generally familiar with the probiotics, but it's crucial to replace them with a quality absorbable probiotic. So where can we get probiotics? From food like kimchi, sauerkraut, plain organic yogurt, right? They all contain good bacteria. You can also take a quality absorbable probiotic supplement. One very important thing to make sure about the probiotic supplements is that they have to be acid stable, because if they're not going to be able to survive, right, the acidity of your stomach. And up to 70% of this probiotics that you take are killed before making it to the gut. So also this shelf life has to be very, very important. Making sure that when you open that bottle of probiotics, they actually don't die. Even if you refrigerate them or not, you have to make sure that they last long, so that when you take, you have the amount of probiotics that says in the bottle. I know that our probiotics were tested 24 months after they were open, and the tests were amazing. The results were amazing. It says that it has the same quantity and quality of the probiotics that it had when it was open. So it's just amazing. Okay, make sure that you get the good ones that actually will make it to your intestines. Prebiotics. The word pre is the key here. The prebiotics help sustain and grow the probiotics. These prebiotics are the food for the good bacteria. They are actually a type of fiber that can be found in lots of foods like garlic, whole grains, and bananas, right? So eat more of those. And supplements are necessary, because today our food, even if it's natural and organic, it really doesn't have the nutrition quality that it did 20, 30 years ago. So we need that supplementation. Supplements do not, how do you say that? They're so you don't eat, so you're going to take supplements. No, you do both at the same time, okay? So this is our gut health bundle, everything that we've been talking about, okay? Digestive enzymes, the gut renew powder, the probiotics, the fiber, okay? And if you want this, just let me know, and then you'll get 20% of the whole bundle, 20% discount, okay? All right. How about exercise? How can exercise improve our digestion? Well, um, let me see here. Because this is very important. People say, so where do I start? Do I start with nutrition or do I start with exercise? Well, the one essential that you are neglecting, that's the one essential that you want to work on, right? That's the one that you need to focus on. And this is why the LRQ is so important. It's going to be so good for us because it's going to help us figure out what essential is the one that you haven't been paying too much attention and that needs work. Okay. But how does exercise improve digestion? It's like a massage to your stomach, which improves circulation, it improves digestion, it relieves constipation, and it also helps with your menstrual pain if you have any, right? It increases oxygen flow to your gut, which actually um, helps increase the diversity of your gut bacteria. So it seems that, when we talk about exercise, this is when the million excuses come up, right? We want to avoid doing the exercise, but our consistently busy lifestyle, it's kind of like become painful to work out. But it's all how we see it, right? So if it's not a priority, it's because we're not planning correctly. You might have a goal, but if your plan is faulty, you're not going to accomplish it. Now, what if I say you only need 12 minutes of your day to do a workout that will make your body actually work for you, that will stimulate your body enough, not just to lose weight, but to actually help it function better in all aspects, right? And that's what we call max T3. It's a short duration, high intensity exercise. And it's just that. It's a type of exercise that involves exercising for a short period of time at a high intensity, and it's usually in intervals. It's metabolic conditioning because it enhances your metabolism, right? It enhances your body's function. So how do you do this? For example, if you're gonna do air punches, right? You're gonna do this. You can do it for 30 seconds as fast as you can, and then 30 seconds you're gonna take a break, take a breather, and then again 30 seconds you do punches as fast as you can, and then you take 30 seconds to breathe, right? And you do this for 12 minutes. And if you notice, you're only working out for 6 minutes, but it is enough to get your body to where it needs to function appropriately, to improve circulation, to decrease the stress x-rays, to decrease the stress hormones, to make your body work for you. It improves strength, power, endurance, balance, coordination, flexibility, speed, agility. It's so good. This is what Olympians use to get themselves ready for the Olympics, right? And you can do this at your house, at your home. How about toxins? Toxins affect your gut, right? They affect the hormones that modulate digestion. We got herbicides like glyphosate that, of course, they negatively affect our gut bacteria. Glyphosate is the active ingredient in Roundup and can remain in the foods that you eat as well as it builds up in our waters. BPA, which can be found in many plastics. BPA is what makes the plastic malleable. So the more BPA there is in the plastic, the softer the plastic is. So those water bottles that when you try to open them, they're so soft that you have to be careful not to squish them because you get all wet. That water bottle, that plastic is made with highly amounts of BPA, high quantities of BPA. And you want to avoid that because it actually destroys and kills the healthy gut bacteria, which leads to inflammation and other gut issues. Okay? Heavy metals can disrupt the healthy bacteria too. And we are exposed to these heavy metals like lead and arsenic, mercury. We are exposed to it in our soil, in our waters, in vaccines. They're all filled with all that, right? So it's a accumulation of these toxins that we need to get rid of. Detox to improve your gut, right? We need to clean our bodies from all this toxicity that affects how our gut health, and not just kills the good bacteria, but it creates inflammation in our gut wall, creating those holes and those cracks, causing leaky gut, right? That will create a whole lot of immune disorders and diseases. Okay, so detoxification we need to do that to aid the nutrient absorption and reset the digestion process. We also need to talk about the way we think, right? Your mindset. It has a powerful influence over what you stress about and how you respond to stress. And as we just learned, stress hinders digestion. And as a society, we are highly stressed and we focus too much on stress. And guess what? Where we put our focus is what we are going to get, what we're going to be thinking always, and what we're going to be working on always. So we get stressed over what happened, what has happening right now, and even worse of all, what can happen in the future. Putting ourselves in a situation where we get weak and sick and somehow can't get out of. It's a very downward cycle that most of us are in. So one way of stopping this is to have a healthy mindset, of course, right? And protect it. How about, things that we can do? Turn off the news. Yeah. Did you know that one big strategy that they use to keep people tuned in is to create stressful or talk about stressful situations one after the other? There was one station, I think it was CNN, that has the death count or had the death count on the screen 24 hours during the pandemic. How stressful is that? And how about social media? Some of us need to do a fast on social media. We're always looking at beautiful and perfect pictures of people and families and their vacations and the things that they have, and which we consciously or not, we compare ourselves to that. Stressful. Take a break from all of that. Be in peace, be quiet, meditate, breathe, listen to music, go for a walk, pray. Fill yourself up with things that protect your mindset, which will affect positively how you respond to stress. Focus on peace management, right? And not on the stress management. Set up time for that, for you. Your habits create your habitat. This is what makes a difference. We cannot eliminate stressful situations. We cannot control that, but we can improve the way we respond to them. And having a healthy mindset improves that stress response. Okay? So work on that. Protect yourself from all those stressful situations that are put on us every single day. So what all this have to do with, the gut? The gastrointestinal tract is, like we've learned about, right, very, very sensitive to emotions. It has the neurotransmitter. It is connected straight to our brain. So anger, anxiety, sadness, elation, all of these feelings can trigger symptoms in the gut. Stress is a common factor in many gastrointestinal conditions, right? Like chronic heartburn or GERD and IBS, right? Stress can affect movement and contractions in your GI tract. It increases inflammation and even makes you more susceptible to infections. So yeah, we need to work with that, right? So how can we do this? Control what you can. Turn off the stressors, social media, the news. Schedule time for yourself. What fills you up? It's not on your schedule. If it's not on your schedule, it won't happen on a regular basis. And you need to do this to protect yourself. And then third, your habits, like I mentioned, creates your habitat. Your habits create your habitat. Make a routine. Put it in your calendar once a week, twice a week, every single day, whatever it is that you need to make it happen. Okay. So ultimately, it comes down to this, right? You remember that we went through this when we talk about 100% vitality, 100% functioning. How can we function 100%? We talked about nutrition, we talk about exercising, about supplementation, about detoxing our bodies, about protecting our mindset, right? But the most important part of this is the most neglected in modern healthcare. There is this one system in your body that controls how your body controls your digestion, how your body absorbs, and how your body eliminates toxicity. And this is what? This is your nervous system, right? So, what is our nervous system? Our brain, our spinal cord, which runs inside our spine, and then other nerves that connect every part of our bodies to our brain. Yes, and I always go back to your nervous system because it really doesn't matter how hard you work out, how much action you take if your nervous system is not working correctly, because you will never be able to function at 100%, right? So we need to start there. And I know you guys are doing great job at it, but we need to go over it and review the importance of it, because I don't ever want you to forget this. I don't ever want you to say, oh, I don't know why I'm getting adjusted, right? Why do I need a healthy spine? Well, that's because you need a healthy system to actually be in health, right? To be able to enjoy your life, to do the things that you do, and what we talked about in the beginning, to have that freedom of health, freedom of in life. Okay. And why this is the most important, you notice this is the only system in your body that is protected by bone. The organs are pretty exposed and reachable, but not your brain and not your spinal cord. So when the spine is in good posture, your nervous system is protected. From the front, it should be straight. From the side, it should have the three curvatures. But when the spine changes its posture, it creates stress on your nervous system. And today, what is the number one reason spines are deteriorating? Because of seating. Sitting down is to the spine as and the nervous system as sugar is to your teeth. It rots your spine. It rots your nervous system. So the spine starts to create change, creates subluxation, losing its curvatures, stretching your spinal cord out. And when the nervous system is stretched out, the nerves get stressed out. And your health, what? Goes out of whack, right? These are some warning signs, as you can see here, like headaches, menstrual problems, high blood pressure, depression, numbness and tingling of your extremities, sciatica, low back pain, neck pain, so small dizziness, fatigue, acid reflux, food intolerances, allergies, asthma, ear infections, frequent colds, constipation. Not sure what that says. Sleeping problems, eczema, all that, right? So those warning signs, guys, they're just that. They're just signals that your body is telling you that there's something wrong happening, right? That your body is not working appropriately and that we need to take action. Okay? So what are your action steps? What was it that you said, okay, I need to work on this. I need to start creating change. Is it your nutrition? Is it your exercise? Do you need to improve your supplementation? How about your adjustments? Are you making it to adjustments every week? Are you doing your home care exercises? What is it, the first step? What is the first action that you're going to do so that you can start that process of change? Okay, don't forget that. Let me know if you need some help. This is the gut health bundle. Again, if you need more help with sustaining and improving this biosis in your gut, which majority of us do, I have to say. Remember, you have a 20% discount for this gut health bundle. And then this is the Love My Guts recipe book, which I know I already gave to some of you. If you still don't have it, let me know. These are just recipes that will address, that will help increase the good bacteria in your body. All right. So let me know if you have any questions. Okay. I know there's a lot of information that we talked about in an hour and 25 minutes. Pretty good. Not too bad. So, guys, I'm here to help you out. And soon we'll be talking about this LRQ. So you can take that questionnaire and make sure where you're doing good and where you're not doing good. So you can know where to focus more. All right. Okay. Well, thank you. See you on your next visit. Bye bye.